Hi, my name is Steve Oltman, and I'm going to talk about our Module 1 for our class. Here's some things about me before we get too carried away here. I'm married. This is a picture of my wife. Her name is Amy. She teaches also as a special education teacher. We have three boys, Gabe, Luke, and Mathen. We attend New Spring Church in Wichita, Kansas. We live in El Dorado, Kansas, and my wife and I are both employed by the Butler County Special Education Interlocal. Ag influenced. We are big into 4-H, into FFA, and growing livestock. Sports raised. I grew up playing sports, did a lot in sports. So the ag stuff is a little newer to me. It's from more of what my kids really like to do and how they felt about stuff, which is great. Always learning something new. For the past few summers, I've been working for the city of El Dorado as their pool manager. And this last year, I decided to add the golf course to that. I've never played a day of golf in my life. Always wanting to learn something new and continue to grow as a person because it makes you well-rounded. These are some pictures of my children. Gabe is the one on the far left, one over here. That's Gabe. He's showing his pig at the fair. My middle son Luke has got his calf there that he took to the county fair this year. And Mathen is my youngest. He just turned 5 this year. And there he is showing off his lifeguarding skills at the city pool. He wants to be a lifeguard someday, I think. Work experience, I started off in elementary ed as a building aide, learned a little bit about a lot of stuff, went back to school and got an elementary education degree from Wichita State and a master's degree in adaptive special ed from Fort Hays, and now I'm working on my leadership stuff from Fort Hays as well. Worked in an alternative school setting when I graduated from college at Wichita State, and started my special ed degree right away. Worked at a day school, and now I'm actually going to become the new principal at that day school as soon as I get done with my leadership stuff. I'm the lead teacher this year right now. Um, and I spent 4 years in a general education school as an interrelated teacher. So all of my experience has been special ed. So my perspective will be a little different than everybody's, which might be nice to hear more about gen ed stuff from everyone. So I'm looking forward to that. The articles that we talked about, position statement for teacher supervision and evaluation. Need to improve teacher evaluation and professional development was a big key that I took away from there. Many different evaluation systems are used in lots of different states and different areas, and that 90% of teachers just attended a 1 or 2 day training to fulfill their professional development needs, not really really worked on adding things all the time. The article 10 Steps Towards Staff Well-Being was an article that I found really interesting. The mental wellness champion was something that I thought was really important, someone who always concerned and worrying about staff's mental development and mental well-being. Develop creative plans for your staff well-being, and it could change week to week, month to month, year to year with some of the teachers that come and go or whatever. Make mental health a priority at a staff meetings agenda so everyone knows that it's happening. Always get feedback from your staff about their well-being. Some days it might be great, some days it might not be stuff you want to hear, but it's always important to hear it and listen to it. The article, a comparison of face-to-face and online training to improve managers' confidence and support mental health of workers, was kind of nice because it was not just related to teachers in the world of education. It was more comparisons to what was best practices to train leaders in all workforces. The comparisons needed for best practice to train leaders was a concept that I got out of there, and the cost effectiveness of doing it virtually in person was never really something that they thought about until this article was wrote. The recruitment, retention, and development of quality teachers in hard to staff schools. This kind of was in my wheelhouse because that's what I feel like we're at right now at my school here. Um, so you can find creative ways to develop relationships with teachers early, almost before they come in, with like university partnerships, pre-service preparation, job shadowings, early contract signings, and celebrations of little things that happen while they're there to kind of help develop those relationships. Support opportunities for growth in new teachers was another key part of that article. Focus on teacher well-being to improve retention in schools. Looking at their mindfulness and well as their camaraderie with others and how that all fits and plays together was a big key there. My analysis of the research and our standard that we're talking about today was that there's lots of pieces that are needed to make a collaborative professional culture designed to promote school improvement. But with current evaluation tools that are being put in place, using all types of platforms for professional development, some more unorthodox incentives like don't take it home Fridays, like everybody just leaves what they got there. Investing in new teacher mentorships, increasing mental wellness awareness of the staff and of myself. I can work towards the type of school setting that is good for all staff and students. The correlations that I found through the standards stated there and all the improvement is that the use of current evaluations helps show teachers' growth. Retention is developing positive culture will help staff retain their jobs because they'll have more purpose and desire to be there. Learning wise, finding meaningful professional development and funding it can help support teacher learning because you give them a chance to go do something once a month. It might be better than just once or twice a year because you can never really take it and learn it until you go and practice it and do it a lot more. The well-being of teachers is correlates to students' well-being. Teachers always show up and want to be lifelong learners. It helps make kids lifelong learners as well, and that's what we kind of strive for because if you can continue to learn, you'll continue to grow. Relevance for me was that I'm in my ninth year of teaching, and I've never had a mentorship until my fifth year because of all the placement changes I had within my own interlocal. I just kind of fell through the cracks, like I was at a place for 1 or 2 years, and then they would say, "Oh, let's have you go teach this grade level or move you here," and then it would all change a little bit more, and I never really had that um, common common part of it. So that was a big thing, and I never took more than a 1 or 2 day professional development training in my 9 years, and I think a lot of teachers could reflect on that as well that way. So my reflection is that I have grown in the ability to evaluate professionals because of paras, but not with teachers, and that's going to be another step up in that. That's something I'm going to have to really work towards, and I need to become more purposeful with my wellness of staff. I never really, because of some of the movement and changes and stuff, I never really had great relationships with other teachers in my building. I did with students because of sports and coaching and stuff, but never anything else that way. And so some of that goes to the culture. And I found this quote and I really like it and I've used it for a long time. It says that culture is like a tree. It takes years to cultivate and grow, and yet it can be chopped down in a minute. You need to protect your culture. Part of that is you don't want to have teacher retention. So if you have teachers have purposes, they have less turnover in your staff, and so administrators need to be thinking that way and trying to develop and get purpose in their teachers. And this last one was something that really struck home to me was if you don't live by the new practices you put in place, your staff won't either, and will be no closer to solving the crisis. This really made me think about other places like relationships at home with my wife and my kids, or even with others in extended family or friends outside of the workplace. How can we use those to kind of help us develop a little bit more into better professional and better administrators and educators as we continue our trek and journey together? So last page I got is our reference page, and thank you